Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 6 of Drawing with Mr. Sepulveda. I'm Mr. Sepulveda, and on today's episode, I really wanted to do a Draw This in Your Style challenge. The image in front of you is not my own creation. It actually belongs to an artist known as Cottontail. A lot of her artwork kind of inspires me, but this was the one that I was like, you know what? I really wanted to draw this. I can definitely put my own twist on it. And with today being Valentine's, I figure this kind of can represent a Valentine's Day character, okay? So, to see what I came up with, all you gotta do is just sit back, relax, and just let this video roll. So as always, I always try to start off by trying to figure out what my character's head's gonna look like, what angle I'm gonna put them at. I decided to try to do like a 3/4 view. Trying to figure out what my eyes are going to look like, where the highlights might be. Wasn't sure if I wanted a more serious version of this character, but I think I liked it because it was such a happy-go-lucky character, and with Valentine's Day, I figure you probably need a smile. The artist has hearts in her image, and so within the eyes, and so I used the hearts as pupils when I started drawing this in my style. So you guys can see that I'm trying to add in the hair, trying to figure out how the hair is going to fall around my character, try to give her some shape. And whenever I come against something that I don't like, I just go ahead and I erase it, guys. I like the pigtails. I thought the pigtails were really cool feature of this character here. So I wanted to kind of accentuate those a little bit, make them a bit large. Here I'm just kind of messing around with like a mannequin body. One thing I didn't like that I did, and this, with hindsight being 2020, I think it was just the angle at which I end up putting this hand and how close I put some of her fingers. I wasn't too happy with some of that near the end, but I think ultimately with what I did, it kind of comes out all right. I know I made this YouTube channel simply because I wanted to kind of keep track of my progress as an artist. I'm not a professional, right? I'm an elementary school teacher, but I want to at least see how far I can go with art. And so I think just noticing these things after the fact kind of helps me, because I know I'll be looking for these things and try not to make those mistakes as I go. That strap that she has on herself, I kind of look at that as almost like the wings are coming off that strap, as if she's got like some sort of backpack with it, right? So after I put in my mannequin, after I put down some of my sketches, I go into my line work here. Okay, so those are the hearts for the pupils. I try to figure out what her mouth would look like. Cottontail didn't have lips on her character, but I wanted to incorporate lips for my female character, so I went ahead and did that. I did notice that the eyelashes on Cottontails had like 3 spikes, but I went with 2 because I thought 2 kind of looked a little bit better, in my opinion, when I was drawing out this character. I also kind of got that feeling of, or a vibe of like a Winx Club vibe, when I started drawing her face in and putting in her hair. I don't know if I'm the only one that sees that, or if I'm the only one on this channel that knows what Winx Club is, but essentially that's kind of the vibe that I got when I was drawing that face together. Okay, I'm continuously looking at what Cottontail does with her picture as I draw mine. I try to go in with putting in like these little heart shapes where those headbands are, but I just ended up getting rid of it. I wasn't sure if it looked too tacky, if there was going to be way too many hearts on the page when I was done with this, so I just opted out of that. I started putting in some small details like lines in the clothes. Here I'm trying to figure out the sleeve situation, and I was working hard on that side closest to us, but then I ultimately ended up trying to shift directions just to because I was getting stuck for a little while, right? Here I'm trying to measure out what the body would look like, the torso would look like, where some of the wrinkles in the clothes would look like. When I look closely at Cottontail's image, she did put like kind of a collar on her shirt, so I ended up doing that. Um, Here I'm messing around with the hands. Something seemed a little off at the time. I ended up trying to redo the hands multiple times, and I think just about any artist will tell you like hands are hard, right? So I do try to practice hands as much as I can so I become a little bit more comfortable with them. But when I'm kind of working in my zone and I don't slow down, it's usually when I kind of struggle a little bit. You'll also see me kind of break the hand down into different little mannequin pieces, and that's right. That's what's happening here in green, so I can kind of get it together a little bit. Try to figure out what to do with that pinky right there, and then try to figure out how that arm is going to come down. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I believe this art work or this project that I gave for myself took roughly 2 hours or so, from sketching process to line work to color. But I did feel like a good amount of time was spent on those hands, or on that particular hand, since her other hand is off the page. Putting some details into the sleeve. Extra lines in the hands. There's the strap coming across. I did thin it out a little bit because I noticed that in Cottontail's image it was a bit thinner. Okay. And then I also like to do like a bold black outline around my character, because I feel like they ultimately pop out when I put a bold outline around them. So that's exactly what I did here for my rendition of Cottontail's picture, or character rather. Okay, then I realized I forgot to put in the wings. Don't know how I missed that, but once I put in the wings, I also end up putting a darker, bolder outline around them as well. And then I also went back into the shirt, kind of gave it a few wrinkles. So here I'm just using my color picker. I'll be picking out colors off of Cottontail's original drawing, and so those are the colors I'm gonna keep as true to what she created, what she used, and I'm just gonna use those exact same colors more or less. I think when I get to the eyes, I do change them up a little bit. I made the choice to do the two tones there for her eyes. And then I also make the choice on lip color, since there were no lips on Cottontail's original picture. Put in the highlights, coloring in those bands. Trying to work with this border, trying to move it, because I feel like when you put a border and you put some color behind it, like a backsplash, it also helps to make your character pop out as well, is what I've noticed. Okay, here I am in my shading phase. I'm not 100% sure how shading works, to be honest. I honestly just put shadows where I feel like they belong. I also do the same thing with light. I understand how a light source is supposed to work, but knowing it and then putting it into practice, like applying it, are two different things. Definitely something I need some work on and some practice on, or need to do some extra reading on. But that aside, I feel like this came out pretty well. Like, I know it's a little bit darker, but I will end up lowering the opacity, and of course, doing digital art, you can always add in different effects like multiply or darken, things like that. So I'm just kind of putting in shadow where I feel like I need to, just trying to create some shapes with some of the shadows as well as I go throughout this image. And I'm not gonna lie, like I really did enjoy drawing this character. I had a lot of fun with her. I took a lot of risks with her as well. Like I would never normally put in some, like I guess some rounded highlight shapes on the cheeks of my characters, but I just kind of felt like it would work out so well with this character in particular. Like certain characters, there's no way you can get away with it, but I think with the way that this was set up, and even putting in like those extra blue lines inside of her hair, I thought it just worked out really nicely. This was certainly a challenge to do. Because my art style has been influenced by so many different artists and so many animes and mangas, and uh, a lot of it just kind of seeps its way into your artwork. I try to make as many conscious decisions as I could as I was drawing her, and then I wanted to also just kind of mess around with a few effects here and there because, again, I wanted this to also be somewhat of a Valentine's Day tie-in. So you guys will see it here momentarily, where I start messing around with some hearts and some other designs. Um, I also try to make my image a little bit larger. So here's where I'm messing around with the hearts. I was just using a heart brush of sorts. I wasn't sure if I wanted the hearts in the wings, but I ultimately like the wings just being plain. Um, so you guys will see me kind of messing around here. I did change the paper background to white so that she would pop out a little bit more. And then here's my happy Valentine's Day heart right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Like, did I do a pretty good job of trying to keep it as close to her character or not, right? Well, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys have a happy Valentine.